Hi, this is Paul from StudioLucid.com. Today I'm planning to give you a walkthrough of Soniccouture's pan drums. You can actually find these on the web to purchase at this URL right here. I'll try and drop that in the description below. Just a quick plug for Soniccouture. I'm not sponsored by them, but they do have a bunch of free stuff on here, which is also pretty cool that you can check out to try some of their freebies before stepping in and purchasing some of their awesome instruments. So with that being said, I actually looked at this instrument for a while before deciding to buy it, but I'm really glad I did. I've opened it today in complete control for a couple of reasons. One, this does interface with native instruments hardware, so if you've got the complete control keyboard or the iMachine, these buttons and knobs are all gonna tie in. The other reason I opened up in here, there's a whole bunch of presets that are available to you. Of course, the other way to get this is loading it up through Contact. It does load as a library, or you can browse to the file and open it that way too. Alright, so let's take a look here. There's actually a total of 5 instruments. Hang Mark 1, which is this guy. We've got Hang Mark 2, has a slightly different flavour. We have the Halo in B, and we have the Halo in C. And then you can see the one that I opened the screen with called Rock Creeks. So let's take a look at the user interface. It's fairly intuitive, it's very well set out. There's a couple of different sections where I can kind of highlight the different parts of the UI. So obviously the main part right here, you've got the main instrument itself. Up here on the top left we have the drop down that allows us to select which instrument we would like to access. Under each instrument you have the transpose section and the map section, although I think that is instrument sensitive, so that may change depending on the instrument. Over here on the right hand side you have the articulation section, and this is definitely instrument sensitive, so depending which instrument you choose you're going to get a different set of articulations available. Over here on the left we have the hand section that allows you to control the actual hand noise as you interact with the drum. Towards the bottom left here we have the envelope section, standard ADSR envelope. To the right of that we have a filter section. There's a lot of presets in there, but you can obviously also customize these to your preferences. And then lastly, down the bottom of the screen here, we have a couple of different tabs. We have an effects tab and we have a jammer tab, and by default it opens up on the instrument tab. Alright, so let's take a listen to each one of these. The first one I'm going to open up is Hang Mark 1. I do have a loop here we can play. Alright, that's the default for sound 1. Let's try default for sound 2. Let's give it a sec to load here. Alright, there we go. Let's listen to this one. So you can hear very different distinctive sound coming from Mark 2. Let's try Halo in B. Alright, it's a lovely sound, I like that one. Let's try Halo in C. And lastly, we have these Rock Creeks. Let's try those. What you will notice about the Rock Creeks is obviously there's a pair of them, but they are in stereo. So if you're using headphones or a decent pair of speakers, you're going to hear that stereo effect. You can actually control that effect right down here. Let's listen. So that's everything panned far to the right. There's ultra wide stereo. Let's bring it back to a more natural sounding place. Alrighty, so those are the 5 main instruments. I also want to point out here, traditionally, obviously, these instruments have a limited melodic range. So what the guys at Soniccouture have done is actually allow us to use the instrument in a full chromatic mode, or we can select the precision mode, which really brings in the actual tuning of the instrument and limits you to the tuning of the instrument for a more authentic performance, if you want to call it that. You can also transpose it, so even if you do want to keep within the authentic range of the instrument, you can also then use a different key. You can transpose it into a different key so that it still matches what you're looking for to try and get that authentic sound. The next part of the user interface I want to point out here is the articulation section. The center, so let me just clarify what some of these articulations mean. The way this is built, there's a kind of zone or area around the note. So if you think center is going to be right in the center of the zone, let's just hear what that sounds like. If we want to talk about the edge, it's not the edge of the drum, it's actually the edge of the zone, so it pulls in some of the more harmonics. I like the slap sound, where you can actually hear it slapping. This is where the hand noise also comes into play right there. The corner gives us a bit more percussive sound. And the most percussive of all is the knuckle sound. And you can hear that's a pretty hard sound there when you select knuckles for the articulation. Now, these articulations are instrument sensitive. So for the Hang Mark 1, the Hang Mark 2, you have the same set of articulations here. For the Halo B and Halo in C, you have fingertips, so let's hear that. You've got using your thumbs. You've got the slap sound. It's a bit harder to hear there, but it is there. And the last one is mallets. They're obviously pretty soft mallets that they're using here. Halo and C, same set of articulations. And for Rock Creeks, there are no articulations. I believe these are actually pretty large and are played with mallets, so there is only that single articulation for those instruments. Alrighty, the next part down here, we have the standard ADSR envelope filter section. Let's play with that a little bit and see what we can do down there. And of course, you can control these knobs and rotators through your MIDI controller, but for the sake of the demonstration, I am using the mouse. Okay, sustain. can make this really dry. Of course, you've got your filters, your LFOs coming in here. Let's pan this out a bit, back out, so we can hear it. So you can hear you can get a very wide range of effects just by playing with this envelope and filter. Alright, now let's take a look at this effects tab. There's a whole bunch of canned effects that ship with this, which is pretty cool. You will notice over here on the left hand side we're on track 6 here, and there I don't have any other effects running over here. This is straight out the box. I just wanted to let you hear what some of these sound like. So by clicking this little guy right here, you can see there are a bunch of effects that ship with the product. You turn them on by clicking this little guy here. So let's pick one of these. Let's see. Let's try chorus. All right. So here is without chorus. Okay, with chorus. So you can hear that really fattens up the sound. Let's try another one here. Let's try phaser. See what that sounds like. Okay, let's turn it on. So that's kind of way over exaggerated, but it lets you hear the effect. Let's give delay a shot. Without delay. Let's add some delay. Okay, so you can hear there that's a half decent delay effect. Alright, let's take a look at this jammer section. This is pretty interesting. I've actually tried to record this section a couple of times, but every time I get in here it just kind of grabs me and pulls me off into the swamp, into unexplored territory. You can play around in here for hours. So let me switch it off. You'll notice we just have the halo C in it sound on here. So this doesn't do anything until you switch it on. So let's reset some of this down to 0 and switch it on. So let's hear what we get when we just hold down a single key. It's just a single repeated sound. There is a key latch there, so you can actually have it running, which comes in pretty handy later on. But let's slow this down here. Okay, so you've just got repeating eighth notes. We can introduce an octave in here, or two. that's kind of random. There's a random. Let's try if we see up. That still kind of sounds random to me. Okay, whatever. We can introduce some other notes other than the single note that I'm playing here. So that's pretty wicked. That kind of sounds fairly chromatic to me. So the other thing you can do here, I can introduce some gaps rather than just having that permanent pounding. You can also change some of the sound here. Oops, sorry. So you can hear there's lots of things to play with in here. One other interesting section, by default it's going to play this fully chromatic thing. We can't actually pick a key. Let's I don't know, let's go with C major, I guess, since that's kind of what the keys are representing on the screen here. So let's see what I get now when I press a C. So I can actually take out some of those notes. So I should just have a C and G going on here. Oops. So anyway, you can see why every time I get in here it just carries you off into the swamp. You can play around with this for hours. I think if you're interested in getting that kind of aleatoric effect, randomized ARP effect, this is a pretty flexible tab right here. Alright, the last thing I want to point out here, and one of the reasons I opened this up in Complete Control, was to let you see some of the pretty awesome presets that are in here. Obviously you can make these noises yourself, but having them preset is pretty awesome because you can take those and obviously build on them, or you can use them just canned. You will notice there are all the inits in here just to get the straight box sound. And there's an init in there for each instrument. Let's just listen to a couple of these. Oh yeah, and there are some of them kind of arpeggiated already. And you'll notice that I am up here on 160 beats per minute, so some of those, let's pull this down a bit. Oops. So all these are single key strokes just to let you hear what's going on. That's an interesting one. Got a nice kind of delay on there. Alright, this kind of deep one. That's kind of cool. This is a nice one. There's another init. So you'll notice there's a whole bunch of these. Here's the one I want to point out. I really like this one. So if you want to build a track, using this, you know, maybe just a session with 3 or 4 different hang drum instruments, you think, well, you know, how do you get that bass resonance? Here's one preset that I really kind of dig. Check this out. That's pretty cool. So anyway, there you go. Thanks to Soniccouture for putting this instrument together. It's way more versatile than I could ever have imagined. It's way more versatile than I think they even call it on their website. It is a kind of niche instrument, but my goodness, it has a whole ton of versatility. So I hope you enjoyed that walkthrough. I'm probably going to link to another video if I can. I'm going to slap together this little track up here and maybe post that up so you can hear what some of those combinations sound like. But I hope you enjoyed this video from studiolucid.com. My name is Paul. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up. And if you didn't, I'd like to hear why. Give me your feedback or go ahead and subscribe. So thanks and catch you later. Bye-bye.